Welcome to the CareKnit program. Here in February, on this Valentine's Day, we're focusing on relationships. Today, our theme is navigating the gray. This has to do with sex before marriage, sex and relationships. If this is an interesting topic for you, you can stay tuned as we're listening to your Fidesari later on. If you missed last week's theme on first things first, things has to do with what do I do before I go into a relationship or while I wait. If you missed this, just scroll down and you will find her message. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you feel special, you feel loved, and maybe you should just see how you can be a blessing to someone else. Just to show love to our hearts before we listen to His word.
If I sing but don't have love, I waste my breath with every song I bring. An empty voice, a hollow noise. If I speak with a silver tongue, convince the crowd but don't have love, I leave a bitter taste with every word I say. So let my life be the proof of your love. Let my love look like you and what you're made of. How you live, how you die, love is sacrifice. So let my life be the proof of your love.
Let's talk about sex. I said it, the dreaded S word. Young youth and young adults don't want to have this conversation with their parents because they feel it's being disrespectful. Parents don't want to talk about sex to their children because it is uncomfortable. The church is like, hear no evil, see no evil. We'll just be there when you mess up and we'll kind of do the damage control. And it's almost as if these three entities are all in their own little corner doing their own thing, except when some poor girl gets pregnant and then the parent is to find out for the first time that their child is having sex. The church is to then step in and try and do discipleship. And I just don't think that is a healthy situation that we have right now, because sex is such a big part of our culture. If you listen to popular music, 95% of the songs have sexual content. If you look at the TV shows that our children are watching, 90% of it has sexual content. And so when the church stays silent, when parents stay silent, when young people stay silent and don't have this conversation, the enemy is using his tools, which is music and media, to shape the mind of our children around sex. And the enemy's message is, I have come to kill and I have come to destroy, and I don't need to go very far. I just need to use sex to destroy this generation. And he's doing a pretty good job with it. And so this conversation about sex is uncomfortable, but it is a conversation that needs to start. Parents, catch your wake up. Young person, stop playing with your life because you feel like you respect your parents. If you really respect your parents, you wouldn't be having sex behind their back, to be honest. And churches, let us start talking real issues and not just putting plasters over the major issues that are affecting our young people. Now, as Christians, as believers, we know what the Bible says. The Bible says that sex out of marriage is a sin. And the scripture that we have is Colossians 6 verses 18 to 20. And it says, flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. Now, the Bible is clear that sex is meant for marriage. So what it is saying is that when you are participating in sex outside of marriage, you are basically hurting yourself. People will tell you, well, it's not hurting anybody. I didn't hurt anybody. I just it was for myself. Why are you getting so excited? The Bible is saying that you are actually hurting yourself, because when you have sex out of marriage, you are outside of God's protection. But as believers, we don't always do what God says. And even though God says sex is meant for marriage, we know over generations this has not been the case. And it's not just this generation, our parents' generation, their generations before that, sex was always an issue. But we just tend to put things under the carpet. Now, what does science say? Science says that when two people have sex, chemicals are released. So in men, the chemical vasopressin in a male brain is released, and in a woman, oxytocin is released. And what these chemicals do is they create a bonding. Now I want you to imagine a sticky tape. This is a sticky tape. Now the first time you use a sticky tape, it has a little bit of glue in it, so it creates a nice bonding. But if I remove the sticky tape, the glue that's there tend to wears off, and if I try and use it again, it's not so sticky anymore. Now, continuous sex does this. It creates a bonding. The first time you have sex, most people remember their first sexual experiences very well. The first time you have sex, you kind of bond with the person. It's almost like an attachment. You get stuck to that person. You can't stop thinking about them. It's almost as if like you're addicted to them, even though they might be healthy for you, unhealthy for you. So it's like the sticking that kind of happens. Now what happens is you break up and the bond breaks. Now the next person comes along and it can't stick anymore, because what is meant to keep it together is no longer there. And so you have a generation of people who idolize toxic aspects of relationship, who idolize this thing of I can't fall in love, I have trust issues, I don't do relationships, but you do sex, and so you continue because there is nothing to attach you to the person. By the time you 15 and you start having sex, and suppose you meet your partner that God has for you at 25, by the time you meet that partner, there's nothing to keep you attached to that person anymore. So sex affects you. Sex is robbing you. Sex is taking away what God has placed in you. But what does the Bible say? The Bible speaks about love, because we have a very wrong concept about love. We have a very toxic idea about what love is. But when the Bible speaks about love, it speaks about a few different types of love. So the Bible says that the different types of love there is let's start with Eros love. Eros love is sexual love, that lust, that attraction that you feel with a person, you just want to be with them, you know that sexual drive that you feel, that's Eros love. The Bible speaks about stork love. This is family love, the love that you feel for family. The Bible talks about phileo love. Phileo love is friendship love. It's love that you feel for your friends, that you have genuine love for them. The Bible also speaks about fellatio love, which is self-love. And then the Bible speaks about agape love, which is unconditional love. Now in marriage, what happens is all of these loves are brought together through a covenant, because marriage is a covenant. It is a promise that you make with God, and we do our part and God does his part. So this covenant of marriage holds the love together. So phileo love, agape love, friendship love, family love, all are able to coexist with each other from the outside. It doesn't take much, but it keeps it together. But when you are having love outside of marriage and sex outside of marriage, so you have Eros love and you have, say, phileo love, which is like a friendship love, or even agape love, because some of you feel like you never loved like this person before, the love of my life, wifey, hubby, whatever. What is holding this together is you're using sex to hold this together. And remember, I spoke about the tape that's already been used. And when you're trying to use sex to hold love together, it's not going to stay very long, because every time something happens, it's just going to separate from each other. So the more I use sex to try and keep love together, the weaker the bond is going to be. Sex does not save a relationship. We need to learn other ways of how to bond with somebody, and this is what skills that this generation is lacking. How do I have a genuine connection with somebody without sex? How do I bond with somebody without sex? Is it possible to be intimate with somebody without sex? Yes, it is. In fact, studies show that cuddling creates bond between couples. Holding hands create bonds. Talking deep things beyond the superficial. What is your favorite color? What is your favorite movie? But really sharing our heart with somebody create bonds. Going on dates create bonds. Making new memories create bonds. And so I want to encourage you to let's change the story. If you've messed up, don't beat yourself up. God forgives you. God is gracious. God is loving. God provides you a second chance. If you are there and you're thinking about having sex, go and talk to somebody. Talk to your parents. Talk to your spiritual leaders. Talk to your friends. Talk to people that have had experience. Listen to what people have to say. Don't make this decision on your own. The idea of sex that society and media puts out there is not realistic. And so I want to encourage you, let's start this conversation. Let's start talking about sex. Let's talk about sex. Yes, baby.
To a needy soul that don't have love, and who is poor, it seems. All the poverty is found in me. So let my love be the proof of your love. Let my love look like you and what you're made of. How you live, how you die, love is sacrifice. So let my life be the proof of your love. When it's all said and done, when we sing a final song, only love remains. Only love remains. Let my life be the proof of your love.